America's small businesses rely on TikTok to succeed, helping them attract more customers and drive more growth. 74% of businesses on TikTok say it's helped them scale, like Coco Asante, who upgraded to a larger facility and brought on more staff, letting their handcrafted chocolates reach more customers. You can learn more at TikTokeconomicimpact.com. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com, and subscribe to our podcast. We're here at the Bitcoin.com mobile studio. We are here at the Members Hour. If you want to come on this show, become a member right now, members.charliekirk.com. That is members.charliekirk.com. I actually want to start with a member email that we got. It's very important. It's from Stephanie, and it's something I'm hearing more and more, and I think I'm uniquely positioned to address it. She says, Stephanie writes us, "Hi, Charlie. I'm a concerned parent of a 21 and 19-year-old young men. I've seen some pretty big changes in my sons in the last 18 months. Their attitudes about women, Israel, and even God have worsened. I try to temper and dispute these false ideologies, but I don't think I make a dent. I'm praying constantly for the Lord to intervene and change their hearts and bring them back to Him. However, I wondered if you consider doing a show on this. Maybe touch on some false teachings by conservatives that are brainwashing young men to hate women, Israel, and even question Christianity. I think parents should be aware and equipped to help their sons. I feel like you have a platform to do this. Thank you so much for your time." I want to lead by this because there's a lot of different reasons for this. Let me first start as to why this is happening and then how we address it. The first, of course, is the why. Young men are entering a disordered society. It's disordered in dating. It's disordered in male-female relations. It's disordered economically. Young women are more empowered to engage in the venom of feminism, where they just want free sex and that they want nothing to do with men in any sort of deep relationship. I experienced this recently where I spoke to a couple of young women at a certain event I was at, and they're like, "We just use men for sex, money, and dinners." So, wow, it's pretty dark. So young men are souring on male-female relations. Secondly, the economics drives some of this, but not all of this. It's a disordered economic environment. It's harder than ever to buy a home. Rents are going up. But there's a second part to it that I think sometimes is missed here. So the first of which we need to talk about why it's happening, but then also realize that it's actually not excusable that you engage in this. So I want to play this TikTok here. This is from a young man. It's gone very viral, and he's articulating some of the economic resentment that drives this partially. Play cut 442.
They tell us to stop eating out and rent's $2,000 a month. Oh, save for retirement, and yet you can barely save for next week. Go buy a house. Yep, every house is $500,000, brother. I'm not asking for a handout, man. We're asking for a freaking fair shot at life. Our parents did not work harder than we work right now. They were simply just given a better chance. Their wages covered their lives, their bills, their hobbies, their passions. Our wages barely cover our freaking bills for the month, dude. No amount of budgeting can ever fix a system designed to keep us down. We're doing the best that we can, and yet it feels like the outcome has already been decided.
A lot of young men feel that way. They're getting priced out of this economy. They can't afford homes. So we have to build more homes, deport a bunch of illegals, end the H-1B scam, be harsher on crime. All those things will help. But what does it mean for you out there if you are a 19 or 20 or 21-year-old man? Well, the problem is when you are economically disordered and societally and relationally disordered, you tend to find yourself engaging in bitterness and resentment politics. And at that moment, we must call timeout. It is all good, fair, and acceptable to say I can't afford stuff and it's wrong. It's all good, fair, and acceptable and should be actually highlighted to say my parents had it easier than me. I am with you. There's been an intentional intergenerational thievery campaign to plunder and to steal your future. But the question, the operative question, is what did you do about it? Politically, we're working on it. That's what Donald Trump wants to do. However, this is where it gets a little bit dark because you can use that disordered reality. You can use the fact that young people are on the outside looking in, and you can mobilize it towards treacherous means. There are a lot of voices out there trying to win over young men. Now, mind you, I don't try to win over young men. We try to speak truth, and whoever likes what I have to say, they end up following me. We have moms that follow us. We have young women that follow us. We have senior retirees. We have veterans. We have Hispanics. We have blacks. We have Asians. I would postulate that we have actually one of the most diverse audiences of anybody in the right-wing world. We have Jews. We have secularists. We have atheists. We have Christians. We have Mormons. We have Catholics, because we don't pander. We don't try to just have a little fringe little corner. And that's the key, is some content creators, they just want to hold on to a fraction of the population, constantly feeding it what they want to hear. And some people that are catering specifically to the resentment of young men, they might consider themselves be right-wing, but what they actually represent sometimes is very similar to the left rhetorically. They promote resentment-based views of the world. They promote blaming other people for your problems and not taking ownership of your life. And that is key. Yes, the rules are rigged against you. Yes, you don't have it like your parents. Now what? You going to complain and just stare at your screen all day long? Or are you going to go make yourself more physically fit? Or are you going to go to church? Are you going to stop watching pornography and stop doing drugs and stop drinking alcohol and stop staring at your screen till 3 a.m.? The question is not the environment, which is important and we must address. But the most important thing is, what are you going to do with your agency? On the left, you hear people say all the time, well, white people are racist, and that's why minorities can't get ahead. But on the right, this is key. More and more you are hearing from some fringe voices is that you can't succeed because we're ruled by the Jews or some Zionist-occupied government. And that is the term they use. It's easy to sell people on hating. It's extremely seductive and shallow to tell people they can hate somebody, and it's even morally justified. People get into online subcultures, chats, groups that feed all of this, and it's cycles of anger and negativity, and then to have some compassion is they can't afford anything. So that resentment is just a fire, is unstoppable bonfire that is fed. They can't afford stuff, so they go back on the internet and they say, this is why you can't afford stuff. And then they can't afford more stuff. And then the women they want to date, the modern woman is just, unfortunately, again, we have some wonderful, sweet women that work for us here at Turning Point of the Charlie Kirk Show, but so many of the modern women are just so on the other planetary when it comes to what young men are looking for. They don't want tradition or piety. They want something completely different. But here's the raw truth. This is the key. People who view themselves as the chief arbiters of success in life, they live better lives. And we've always promoted that at Turning Point. Always. It's not that there are no problems. There are a ton, especially for young people. In fact, we are one of the few. I went on Tucker Carlson's and I talked about BNPL. And we talked about debt finance. And we talked about homes and renting. All that is legit and that is fair game. But we always say that those problems are fixable. And they are fixable through our own actions. And if you reduce some of the right-wing, quote-unquote, right-wing commentators that are saying this, you reduce it down to, we'll get better once we kick out all the Jews. Now, there's something dark about you, actually, if you're saying that. Oh, it's going to get better if we just kick all the Jews out of the country. If you are a young man today, there's honestly a ton of opportunity out there. Unemployment is low. The Trump economy is really heating up. Learning skills are easier than ever. College is less necessary than it was 15 years ago. Salaries for skilled work in America are high, and there's a labor shortage. In fact, people that are working in AI, they say there will be more millionaires created in the next 5 years than were created in the last 50 years. Let me say that again. There will be more millionaires created in the next 5 years than the last 50 years. You have a good idea for a business? Go use AI and work with it. If you have an idea for a movie, go use AI and try to publish it. Don't just stare at the screen and go blame the people in the shadows that you don't like. Instead, go be a champion and go on an adventure. Own your future. Don't blame somebody else because you don't have it. Getting married is harder. I agree. It's hard to find a woman. But you don't fix it by scrolling through endlessly. And you, by the way, I think deep down, you know it's bad for you. It's kind of like watching porn or doing drugs. It doesn't make you feel good. Here's a good rule of life. If you feel worse after you engage in something repeatedly and you feel just broken and darker, it's probably not good for you. Getting married is harder. You fix that by going to church, getting engaged in a community. Stop drinking. Maybe you go to the Catholic church. Maybe you go to a good evangelical church. The point being is you look up, you don't look at your screen. Look up at the transcendent. Go read books, take a Hillsdale online course, go lose 10 pounds, go for a walk, turn off your phone, honor the Shabbat, learn a foreign language. All of that is accessible to you. You have a supercomputer in your right-hand pocket, and this supercomputer should be used for self-improvement, taking inventory, journaling, self-authoring, aiming at a transcendent destination. Instead, you don't use this supercomputer for resentment and bitterness. That is wrong. And it's doable. If you're fat, eat better and work out. If you're poor, I get it. The economy has not been in favor of you, but there are ways to still make money. Take a second job. If you're young and you have a lot of energy, figure it out. Push yourself. You will feel more satisfied and feel more connected to purpose. Or you could do all that stuff, or you can blame the Jews. Choice is yours. One will give you joy, purpose, children, and a future. The other one, I think we know where that leads.